Hi, I'm Shamsuddin Jasani. People know me as Shams, and I'm the managing director for Isobar for South Asia. And I'm here with Social Samosa, and it's a pleasure being on this interview. Yeah, so in the past, especially in the past couple of years, I think three campaigns come to mind. I think the biggest one, of course, was the Reebok campaign, Bruises Can Be Good. That campaign was perhaps the best campaign that we've done in our 11 years of existence. It won a Clio as well, which we're very, very proud of because now our benchmarks are now towards international standards and how we're actually doing work internationally, not just in India. And so Reebok was one campaign which we're really proud about. The second work that we've done was for Maruti. This is a transformation project that we did in sync with our vision of where we are taking Isobar into the future. And the idea was that Maruti has been there as the leading automobile category leader for forever. But their website as well as the physical stores were kind of aging, and what we wanted to do was take a leap into the future for Maruti and how we actually completely change their digital and physical existence to marry the two together. So a person could go online, start their journey, and as soon as that person steps into the store, the journey continues from the online to the offline existence. Because for the consumer, it's very seamless. And how do we enable Maruti? It was a huge project. It happened over a course of a year, where we helped them change that, and it's been an amazing campaign for us. And lastly, I think Nat Geo that we did, the Planet of Plastics, another one which is very, very close to our hearts. Again, this is something which all of us believe in, and that's how we've actually taken for Nat Geo. And that's gained a lot of traction across the world because it's more about spreading the word. And I think these are the three main campaigns that we really are proud about in Isobar. Of course, a lot of people just do it for PR. It's for winning awards. But when you marry it with what you truly believe in as an organization, and I'll start off with a very simplistic thing. We ourselves banned plastics way before the government of India banned plastics in our own organizations, in our own workplaces, in our own homes. I mean, we had done this about 2 years ago. I mean, you can step into the office right now, you'll not see plastic bottles. You will actually, even people coming from outside, have to use glass bottles. Uh, what happens a lot of times is that what you believe in versus what you portray is very different, and that's where I think the mismatch really happens. And today the consumer can see through that. Today a consumer can wants you to be genuine in what you are actually doing for the cause, and you need to be true to it throughout. It doesn't work because today a lot of people are just going. A lot of the best minds are not joining NGOs. A lot of the best minds will, will join a for-profit organization. If you want the best minds to be applied in such a sphere, or if you want a best mind to work on doing a good cause, you need to pay them well. So my belief is that we need to have good entrepreneurs tomorrow making a business out of making people's lives better. And why not? For it to keep on going, you need to keep on investing. And that's where the challenge really lies. As I said, that very few brands have that saying that, okay, no, we'll keep on investing because we believe in it. They start off, when the management change happens, or the company's focus changes, and a lot of issues that happen. Unless and until it's ingrained into the fabric of the company that I need to do some good, it's only always going to be lip service. It's only going to be for that time. See, everyone wants to do good, okay, but you end up doing good till the time the budgets allow you, till the time your senior management allows you. Beyond that, everything kind of, and again being honest, because this is very close to my heart, is that if you really want to do good, the entire organization from top to bottom need to feel that we need to do this as an organization. And that's where I think we, as not only not only brands, but I think we as a culture in India don't have that thinking in us, which I think is a difference where globally that's a different where people are actually moving into that direction and thinking good. Because a lot of times we all feel that we should do something good, we don't move ourselves. We all feel that I need to do something good, but how many people actually do end up doing it? You'll donate to someone, that's it. But how much time and effort do you yourself spend and do some good? And that's, I think, also to do with how we are as people here. We need to put, it's not just about spending money, it's about investing your time. And I'm guilty as much as anyone else. We all want to do good, we all feel that we are good people, we want to do good, but do we really do good? And I think that's more, and that's where, if there are 200 people in the organization and the ethos flows to the organization, it'll happen. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible if you are able to drive that through the organization, and it is very much possible. It needs to come from the top. You need to live it by example. You need to show it to your teams that this is how it is done. And especially the kids that are there in art today, they want to do it versus the old foggies. They are not so much, but the kids today in India are much more, let's say, aware than their older counterparts. And I think that's where I think the change will happen, is where the 20-year-olds, the 25-year-olds, they really feel. And it's actually coming out in our research when we do our surveys within our organizations in HR. The 25-year-olds say that we need to do more, and I think they are the ones who will drive it. I think that shift is happening where the kids are going to drive it into the future. So I think that's it. So the automobile industry, of course, we've seen is facing perhaps the biggest slowdown in the past 18, 19 years. I think that's what the stats are, and it's not getting any better. I think that's just the beginning, and it's the one which is in focus. I think there's an intrinsic problem that is there in the industry. There's a shift that is happening. It's not just the business is bad; it's also the business is transforming. Uh, a lot of the millennials today don't want to buy cars. They want to actually do ride sharing. They want to do Ubers of the world. Yes, business is bad, but at the same time, things are changing. The transition is happening, and that's where I think it's a good time for agencies like us, where we are actually working on using digital to transform businesses and not just about digital marketing. And I think that's where our future also for Isobar lies. Digital's future also lies, is how we can work with clients on their transformation journey, where they can use digital to transform them. I'll give you a very simple example of a client. I won't name the client. The client came to us who has a furniture brand. This was about a year and a half back. And they said that, it is a traditional furniture brand. And they said that, our competition is Pepper Fries of the world, our competition is Urban Ladders of the world. Went back and saying that is today. But the competition of tomorrow is going to be the Furlenco and the Rent-A-Mojos of the world. Because, most of India is now living in rented apartments. Again, people don't want to own apartments. It's too expensive. If you are living in a rented apartment, you will shift in 11 months, 22 months, whatever. And you're going to shift cities, you're going to shift apartments. You're not going to buy furniture, you're going to rent furniture. It just makes sense. So your business model of selling furniture is under threat, not only from competition like them, but also from competition like Rent-A-Mojos of the world. So you need to be prepared for that world. So now, just coming back to the point, auto as an industry today is facing that challenge where people are renting or people are doing ride sharing more. Globally, I think Cadillac is one of the first companies to come up with a subscription plan where they say that every month you can change the car. So they have a subscription plan, a monthly subscription that you pay to Cadillac. Of course, it's an expensive car, hence the subscription expensive. But the industry will go through a transformation. Electric cars are coming up. There's a lot of stuff. So auto, it's not just about slowdown. There's a lot of stuff that is happening out there. But yes, when the slowdown happens, people start asking questions. And that is when they say, okay, now what can digital do beyond just me doing a Facebook ad, or beyond just me taking my video and putting it up on YouTube or Facebook. I need to use digital to really help me transform my business. And I think it's a good time for people like us who are actually working with clients to do that. Indian agencies are doing, I would say they're doing good. We need to do better. Uh, Very proud from a agency perspective that, while we compete with WebChutney, uh, winning six cans really put an digital agency upfront, which was, I think, the most awarded agency per se in India. It's a good benchmark for us also to kind of say that, okay, I need to beat six tomorrow to go to seven. But that's kind of said that, okay, we've arrived. And I think that's a beginning to say that there are a lot of good work that is happening. The trouble that happens with agencies in India is we're not good at packaging. We're great at doing our work. We're not as good as packaging as our global counterparts are. So I would say from a work perspective, even the agencies which are independent agencies in India, especially in the digital space, are doing really good work, but they're not good. All of us are not so good at packaging our work and showcasing it. From an M&A perspective also, unless and until you're not known, it's very difficult for any agency to invest in you unless and until you have some name, some claim to fame that is there. So the good work is happening, it's just not being showcased in the right manner. I think that's one thing that I would talk about. You will hear a lot of stories, and that's where I think the world is moving towards, is that the clients, even smaller agencies, smaller companies, need to view us or any large uh, agency group more from more from an investment perspective and not just advertising, where they need to see, okay, can this really move the needle for me? For me as a agency, it's even a bigger responsibility, because, and I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs who say, this is my hard earned money versus a big setup, a big company which is already set up and they already have defined marketing budgets. Here, every rupee counts for them. So, and we actually like taking those challenges up because we are actually creating businesses. Here, we're just kind of enhancing a brand. We're just taking something forward a little, 10% forward. But the 10x can happen with the smaller brands, where we can actually work with them to see how we can help them into their journey into becoming a bigger organization, a bigger business. And I think that's where the meeting of mind needs to happen, where if you're working with a large agency, you need to understand, yes, your investment will be higher, but yes, the responsibility from our side is to not only further your marketing needs but further your business as well. So let's talk about where the world is right now and what are the kind of trends that we're looking at. So voice is a huge trend, and voice is something that, as Isobar and personally myself, we believe that voice is going to become a dominant force 3 years down the line, or maybe even earlier, because voice is not just going to change how we we use marketing; it's going to change a lot of things around us. So, couple of things that can change is that right now, sitting in this room, going out, and when you're going back to office, normally what happens is you'll take your mobile handset out, you'll look for directions, you look for the latest music that you want to hear, you look for the video that you want to see. All that is something that you will be using your phones for, typing it in and then searching for it, or consuming it via Instagram or Facebook or whatever. That is going to change because everything is going to become voice enabled. Your voice searches are exploding. You will order a lot of stuff through voice, whether it's Alexa or Google Assistant, etc. Now that's a little, that's something that is our target audience, the more the ones who actually have class A, B towns and cities. C and D, again, the penetration of voice and the next 300 million users are going to come because of voice, because voice breaks down a major barrier in India, which is literacy. Uh, and that means that people don't need to be able to type or read, they just need to speak into the device. It could be a phone, it could be anything. And that device will enable them to get content back in the format that they want. The only hitch there is India has lots of dialects, India has lots of languages. At least if we can cover 80% of India, we will be able to penetrate into the media dark areas, the more difficult parts of the business that is currently. And I think voice is going to be a big game changer as we go into the future. That's number one. Number two, the Geo 2 revolution, which is just about to hit, where they are going to come up with the set-top boxes internet combination that is there. That is also going to change what is traditional television, what is digital television, because everything is going to be digital when Reliance is actually pushing it through an internet pipe. So how do you buy TV versus how do you buy video is going to merge. So I think that's another case in point that's going to happen. 5G, another year and a half away, another huge explosion that is happening. And of course, finally, augmented reality versus virtual reality. Augmented reality is one of the bigger one. I think that is something which I feel people need to start looking at in a much bigger manner than it is. It's already there. All your phones support it now, and I think augmented reality is something which is here to stay. So I think these are the few trends and technologies that we need to look out for as we go into the next 18 months to 2 years of where we are from the industry perspective. And finally, from an Isobar perspective, our future lies in three places, and that's where we are extending ourselves to. So business goes on as we are, and of course, the growth is happening in that part of the business. But we are launching our transformation business, and that's what we're working on. And that is something which we'll work very closely with our clients to work on the digital transformation side. And the second part of it is the Isobar Good, again, launching very soon in India, where we're using um, our expertise as an agency on digital to work with brands to really, do good for society. And I think that's very important. So that's number two. And of course, number three, again, coming back to voice, a huge investment in voice for us. We're going to back voice very clearly, and I think that's something which we think is going to be the future. So I think these are a few things that us as Isobar are looking forward to in as we go ahead.